Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lions Week. Today we're going to go ahead and preview Week 3 matchup Cardinals versus the Lions. Let's get started. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another video. Definitely do me a huge favor, smack up that like button and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. On this channel, we cover everything Arizona Cardinals news, breaking news, conversational pieces, everything surrounding your favorite team. So subscribe it up. It's absolutely for free. All right, everybody, let's go and dive right into it. Let's talk about the Week 3 preview, Cardinals versus Lions. And I haven't made previews all last year, or I guess I sprinkled previews here and there just because I didn't feel like our team was very good, that we probably wouldn't be able to hang with a lot of the other teams in the NFL. But this year I feel different, right? And it might be because we completely blown out the Los Angeles Rams and we hung with the Bills. There's a level of excitement amongst the Arizona Cardinals this year. So I'm back. We're doing these previews again because I do think that we can stand a chance against the Detroit Lions as long as we can get the explosives on our side and we can take care of business on the defensive side of the ball. But I do feel like the Detroit Lions team is the best team we've played so far on paper. Like, this is the best complete team we've played in 2024, offensively and defensively. Now, in week 1, we played the best quarterback, right? And then in week 2, we played a very surgical quarterback in Matthew Stafford. But in week 3, overall, probably the best overall team. Looking at the history here and what the Detroit Lions have done to the Cardinals in the history, the last 5 times, the Lions have beat us 4 times, and in that 5th time, there was a tie 27-27, right? But the Lions have had the Arizona Cardinals number, so we have seen this before, right? We've heard that the Rams have had our number and we broke that streak. So maybe 2024 is going to be the year of just breaking streaks overall, right? So hopefully that's going to be the case. But let's dive right into this team just in general, right? They do got a very solid quarterback in Jared Goff. Their running back duo is probably one of the best running back duos I've seen in the NFL, and Jahmyr Gibbs as well as David Montgomery. Their wide receiving core is really good in Amon-Ra St. Brown as well as Jameson Williams and then Khalif Raymond. Now, if you're looking for a guy that's going to take the top off your defense or, kind of make you look silly just because of speed, that's going to be your Jameson Williams, right? But Amon-Ra St. Brown, all the way, very good wide receiver, probably hasn't had the best numbers so far this year in terms of touchdowns, but it's still week 3, right? This guy is very, very a solid weapon for Jared Goff. So right now he's listed as questionable. We'll see exactly if he's going to be available to play in week 3, but as of right now, they do got a good wide receiving core. Their tight end in Sam Laporta, I feel like he's not played to his potential, but I just think that's not really on him. I think that's going to be more of a tribute to what this offense has done so far, this year, because Jared Goff, looking at the numbers, he's not had a good year so far, right? Now, granted, we're only going into week 3, but he's got 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, and has a QBR rating of 37.4 per ESPN, right? So, I mean, he is slinging the ball around, right? There is 524 passing yards from him, so he's flinging that ball around, but it's more intercepted than it is touchdown. So will Jared Goff get it right? I'm pretty sure he will. I hope that's not against the Arizona Cardinals, but he's not having a great start to the start of the 2024 season. But like I said, we're just going into week 3. There's still a lot of time. They do got a very solid offensive line with Penei Sewell, Kevin Zeitler, as well as Graham Glasnow. But this is going to be a very, very good test for the Cardinals defense to see if we're going to be able to get back there and cause pressure to a Jared Goff, because I see Jared Goff more as a Matthew Stafford type of quarterback as opposed to a Josh Allen, right? So we were providing pressure in week 1 and week 2. The biggest problem is that the quarterbacks that we were playing, right? And that's going to be obviously Josh Allen type and then your Matthew Stafford. So if we can get back there, as long as we can, rattle the cage, hit, hurry, sack the quarterback, I think the defense can be very, very solid for the Arizona Cardinals, but obviously different matchups is going to be very, very different on Sunday. So I'm really excited about that. Now, if there's one specific position that I actually do fear from the Detroit Lions, is probably their defensive line with Aiden Hutchinson, DJ Reader, and Marcus Davenport. Already Aiden Hutchinson, when we're just heading into week 3, he's got 5.5 sacks, right? So we're talking about an absolute disruptor when it comes down to a guy that's going to be able to, or could take over a game, right? Huge momentum swings. Look out for Aiden Hutchinson to try to, get back there and rattle the cage of Kyler Murray, because he's a very, very good, solid pass rusher. Really, really good. And of course, they also got, Jack Campbell. So overall, they got a lot of good pieces on their defensive side of the ball. Definitely a strong point, right? Definitely a strong point on that team. But their offense is very good as well. That's why I said this is overall one of the best complete teams we're going to be playing so far in week 3. So what we know so far is both teams are 1-1, right? We got the Detroit Lions winning week 1. They lost week 2. The Cardinals lost week 1, but they won week 2. So we got two teams that are coming into State Farm Stadium, and the Cardinals are going to want to start off 2-1, right? I think that's obvious, but so are the Lions. They got Super Bowl aspirations this year as well. So this is going to be a very interesting and exciting matchup to say their own, and I think this game's going to come down to who's going to be able to run the ball the most, right? Now, I think right now, looking at the running back cores, because they got the two-headed duo in Montgomery as well as Gibbs, I think they might lean on that running back duo heading into this game. Jared Goff has done what he could, but I don't know, there's something off right now with, I guess, his accuracy, or I just don't know if the wide receivers just aren't, the chemistry ain't there. I don't know what it is, but I think if they're trying to get a get-right game, who they should lean on is their two running backs in Jahmyr Gibbs as well as David Montgomery. Now, I feel like the Cardinals should know that, but it's going to be really hard to stop them, right? Because, like I said, they're one of the best duos in the NFL, and I feel like if the Cardinals can contain them and allow Jared Goff to beat us with his arm, I think we can be in a better situation as opposed to allowing those two-headed monsters to kind of keep time and possession on their side and keep momentum on their side, right? We need to allow that coaching staff to kind of forget that those two running backs exist. Now, what you have to do is make sure that when the offense is on the field, you're going to have to score points, and a lot of points, right? Almost kind of similar in terms of what we did in week 2, where in a blink of an eye, the Cardinals were already up 14-0, right? And then we scored another touchdown with Higgins, right? So we're going to need to do that same type of thing, and I get it, right? It's not as easy as, just throw the ball over to Marvin Harrison Jr. Literally, what happened in week 2 was an anomaly. We probably won't see that, especially with the numbers that Marvin Harrison Jr. posted. Now, if we've seen that back-to-back, then of course, we're going to be saying, just throw the ball to Marvin, but that's going to be the game plan, right? We need to be able to get these wide receivers involved. We're going to be playing at our home, so expect a lot of, balls basically flying in the air and Kyler Murray letting it loose. I think that's going to have to be the game plan. Now, obviously, James Conner is going to need to tote the rock and have a very, very respectable game. Hopefully, we get somewhere upwards of 80 to 90 yards, and then, of course, a touchdown from James Conner, because when he gets the ball going on the ground, it opens up everything for everybody, right? Trey McBride, Michael Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., Greg Dortch. It just opens up everything, right? So I do expect the Cardinals to obviously start off really hot, because when that happens, it does kind of get a sense of, we just hit you with a haymaker, right? The coaching staff's probably going to want to do that right back. So we're going to need to find a way to contain Jahmyr Gibbs and, David Montgomery. And I get it. It's going to be a hard task, but if you want to beat or stand a chance against this Detroit Lions team, that's what you're going to need to have to do. You're going to need to have to put the ball in the hands of Jared Goff and say, you beat us. And if he does beat us, then of course, then we tried, because I fear more those two running backs than I do Jared Goff's arm, especially this year, because he does have 3 interceptions to his 1 touchdown. I feel like if we can add another interception or 2, then we can get that fan base as well as that coaching staff to panic just a little bit, enough to where they're going to be forgetting about their 2 running back duos. So another important thing, obviously on the defensive side of the ball for the Cardinals, is we're going to have to get back there in terms of pass rush, interior or on the edge. We're going to have to get back there and rattle the cage of Jared Goff. Now, like I mentioned before, Jared Goff is more of a Matthew Stafford type, where he's going to stand in the pocket and, try to deliver the ball and try to be surgical, right, against the Arizona Cardinals. But if we can have that same game plan, or at least similar to where we're not really allowing him to get, any time out there, right, to see who's open. Now, their offensive line is better than the Rams' offensive line. The Rams are going through so much issues right now in terms of just staying health. I think Cooper Kupp now is injured. So they are going through the ringer right now with the Los Angeles Rams. So we are playing 2 different teams, and that's one of the main reasons why I said I'm excited to see what this defense is going to be able to do. If we're going to be able to translate from week 2 to week 1, or are we going to see a performance like week 1 where we couldn't wrap up Josh Allen, right? So that's going to be a big important factor, right? So keys to success for the Cardinals, we need to be able to run that ball. We need to. James Conner needs to have a very good workload, and I'm hoping 17 to 19 carries, and I'm hoping he ends somewhere around the realm of 80 to 90 yards with a touchdown, or heck, maybe even 2 touchdowns. But another important thing is that offense needs to be as complementary as it comes, right? We need to have those big explosive plays to Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Wilson, Trey McBride, Greg Dortch, anybody that's going to be able to catch the ball and get open on this defense, because like I said, we might be living in a scenario where Kyler Murray is not going to have a lot of time in the pocket. I think so far our offensive line is actually looking pretty good and they're holding up, but we're going to need to also utilize the short game, right? The flats, the swing passes, right? The screen game, right? Those type of things were going to be very important to do here for Kyler Murray to be able to move that ball down the field. Now, if Kyler Murray is sitting pretty back there, then of course we're going to be able to dissect this defense. But what I know from this defensive line in the Lions, they are a very good disrupting team. So I'm hoping that we do have a game plan to get that ball quick out of Kyler Murray's hand, and of course with the play actions, getting more people available to cover, we'll be able to kind of throw the ball deep down the field and kind of hopefully trick them, right, with Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Wilson, as well as Trey McBride. So this is going to be a fun matchup. It really is. I know the Lions have had our number. The last 5 times they beat us 4 out of those 5 times, and that 5th time we tied with them. So the Cardinals have not done good against the Lions. But like we mentioned earlier, maybe this is the year in 2024 where we're breaking all sorts of streaks because we got our franchise quarterback back. And I know that the Lions fans and the Lions organization are licking their chops in the opportunity to start off at 2-1, and they might see the Cardinals as an easy win. I don't think that's the case. I think the Cardinals are going to come out here very strong and hold their own against this Super Bowl contending team. Now, if that's the case and the Cardinals do hold their own, then we can definitely hang our hat onto an opportunity of, hey, maybe this team can be a lot better than we all anticipated. But I see this game come down to the wire. I don't think this is going to be a blowout game. I think it's going to be a very even matched game. I say the Cardinals come up with the win. I say 35-32 Cardinals win and get our second win in the 2024 season. Ladies and gentlemen, what are your thoughts on this game? Put it in the comments below. I appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day and go Cardinals.